Hey, everybody. This is Chris Black, Keep It Professional podcast, and we're glad you decided to join us today. And we've got some really exciting topics to talk to you about, and we're really looking forward to kind of delving in deep. This is our look at social media lead generation. With any business, of course, you have to generate leads as best you can, and social media is a great way of doing that. And if you've ever been, man, it can be a lot sometimes. So now we're going to turn off all the noise. We're going to give you a focused look on social media and how it can help you promote your products and services. So look forward to sharing that with you today. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about promoting your products and services, your company, or even your business. And that can be done in a myriad of ways. I have taken so many different courses online, read books, watched videos, and everyone seems to have, a different way to look at it or a different thing to try. And we're going to break it down pretty easily. So when you own a business or you're an entrepreneur or you're selling or you're making money based on performance, there's a few things you have to understand. First and foremost, if you're in the business of commission sales, your book of business is the most important thing to invest in, period, exclamation point. Regardless of whether or not you work for ABC Cable Company or you're selling widgets in the medical industry, it does not matter. You need to develop these personal relationships with these companies, with the people that you're doing business with. If Renee at ABC Logistics goes and works for XYZ Logistics, you want her to call you and say, hey, when I was over here, you hooked us up with this. Do the same thing over here, with my new company. Those are the relationships we want to build. And I have several ways dealing in business to business that I have cultivated those relationships. I thought I'd share a few of them with you on this particular podcast. So first and foremost, people like to do business with people that they know. And I'm very much that way with things that I purchase, whether it's, personally or professionally. I go through my phone and say, well, John, sells, whatever it is I'm looking for. If I need a television, I have a place that I go and buy my TVs from. If I need to buy a cell phone, I got a guy for that. If I need to get my car fixed, I've got a shop that I use specifically for working on my vehicles, and I trust them and we build relationships. So relationship building is a big part of the business world. So what we have to understand is, how do we become a part of these people's everyday lives that we want to do business with? So the first thing you're going to want to do is identify your vertical, your target market, the people that you want to sell to. So we're going to take what I do and use it as an example. So I sell dash cams, GPS trackers, and two-way radios. I look for anything that has company vehicles and more than one of them. They need to track them, talk to them, and view them at any given time at their request to increase productivity. So what do? Those are the businesses that I'm after. So dump trucks, septic companies. Anything that I see out there on the road that meets my target, I jot them down and I figure out a way to get in touch with those people. Now, once I've developed that relationship, knocking on doors or walking in to the place of business or established a rapport over the phone, via email, whatever it is, then, they're going to want to probably seek me out on social media. LinkedIn, of course, is the professional side of, social media. So I have a LinkedIn page. Some of you have been there, some of you maybe not. If not, hit me up. We'll definitely link up on the old LinkedIn. But that's the professional Chris. That's the, the work side. And this is what I've done and my accomplishments and blah, blah, blah. That's awesome. You need that. So it gives some validity to you as a human being. This is where a lot of people separate from my mindset when it comes to social media. I can't tell you how many people I have on my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm sure there's something I'm missing that I know professionally that have gotten to know me personally. And those are people that want to know, the real me. They, know about my kids, my family. They follow the things that I'm doing on social media. My kid graduated last year, a lot of people reached out, congratulations, so on and so forth. That's great, And then, of course, when I see those clients, 6 months down the road, hey, how's Skylar doing at, at college? And, it really kind of builds a rapport and cements that relationship with people. I don't do it to make money. I do it because I'm a genuine person. I friend those people. I become friends with them, not just professionally, but also personally, because again, I want them to trust me and have that trust factor. I have nothing to hide. So what is the biggest thing that I get when I bring this up to people who ask me, what should I do? How should I generate leads? Well, get on social media, man, and let folks know what you got and what you're doing. Those people know and love you, supposedly. So, sell to your friends and family. Maybe they'll reach out to somebody else or put it in local, groups and things like that. And this is the pushback I get. Well, I don't want everybody on my social media. I don't want people on my Facebook page. Well, why not? Well, I like to, go out and party. I want people to know that about me. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? So let's talk about social media profiles. I don't care which social media profile we're talking about. We're just going to talk about social media, period. Your social media should look like you look professionally. If your professional life is a dumpster fire, I expect your Facebook to look like an absolute dumpster fire. And that doesn't surprise me. I would 100% think that would be what I would expect in real life and professionally as well. But if you're not a dumpster fire in real life, which I don't think anybody, I'm sure some people are, but, if you're a decent person in real life, that's fine. But, dude, if you're out drinking and posting, the people that, you go out drinking with and partying and, snorting cocaine off of toilet tanks and bathrooms at clubs and so forth, and you want people to do business with you, I would not recommend that at all. So clean up the profiles, make it look professional. Take a picture of yourself that makes you like you have it, like you give a damn. If we're being honest, do a nice little professional banner that maybe has a picture of you overlooking a lake or something. I don't know, whatever it is you want to portray. But be realistic with your social media profile and stop putting crap on there. Look, I don't care who you vote for, if you're left, white, up, down. It doesn't matter what your political leaning views and all that other fun stuff is. Leave the politics off the page. Religion, again, you can go check my social media out. I don't care. I stay away from those topics because it's controversial, and I don't really care what you think about certain things. What I care about is the fact that, you have a presence on social media. I want to see who I'm doing business with, and if I'm being honest with you, I have in the past not done business with people because of things that are on their social media. I don't want to support, certain things. So again, it's, the politics aside, the religious views and all that. I understand that we all have things that we know, trust, and believe. I get that. But, and if you would choose to post those things, that's fine. But remember, when you start taking sides, you start alienating certain aspects of your social media group. And it's not a popular thing to, to be neutral in some aspects of it. But I don't think I'm really being neutral. I'm just not getting in the middle of all of that. I personally believe that social media is a huge part of our personal and professional lives. And that's not going away anytime soon. In fact, it's actually getting worse. So I was speaking to a friend of mine in real estate recently, and she was telling me that she had a couple clients come across her TikTok. Well, she ain't been a real estate agent that long. It's been a very short period of time since she's been in the real estate business. And her TikTok was, it was interesting to say the least. I didn't even know she had a TikTok, from being honest with you, but there were some things that were kind of unsavory on there, and some things have gotten out. And I just told her, I said, you can't prevent what's already out there. Cat's out of the bag. It is what it is. But, maybe be mindful of things that you're putting out there. If I go look for someone on social media and they're not available or it's not out there, it's kind of, most people are on social media, so it's kind of a red flag. Something's up. You don't want me to find you, and then there's a reason. That's okay. People want to live a private life. That's fine. But promoting your business on social media is one of the best ways to generate leads. Promoting a specific page for, what it is that you're doing, a group. I've got pages on Facebook, for example, for businesses that I've been in, current and past. You can go there and kind of see the products and services and interact with people. And again, I've gotten some people that have become personal friends, through the social media stuff, through my business page and so forth. And that's fine. But again, social media is a huge avenue to getting to the lead generation aspect of it that, you're looking for when it comes to getting those phone calls for your service. And when you're a small business owner, you have a budget. So free is always a good thing as long as you're getting a return on that investment. So I've told you about the social media aspect of it, and I've given you some kind of clues where we're headed next. In the next segment, I'm going to talk about how to utilize groups to your advantage and some awesome software that you're really going to enjoy. So stay tuned and we'll get right back to it. Do you have employees out in the field? Are you trying to constantly get them on the phone, get them to respond to a text message? Nothing's worse than when you're trying to, get these guys out there to respond to you. But we can bring your team together with one push of a button. Check this out. These are ICOM radios that DCCI has out. DCCI for a radio check from Montgomery, Alabama. Anybody got a copy? And with the push of a button?
Yeah, I got a copy. This is Tom from Bristol, Tennessee.
Hey, Tom. How you doing? How you enjoying your ICOM radios?
They work great, loud and clear.
10-4, Tom. Thanks a lot. So as you can see, very easy to operate, very easy to use. You can talk one to many, one to a group, one to one. Doesn't matter. We can get you set up with whatever you're looking for. For more information, join us at www.dccicom.com and click the LTE link under the products button. So in the last segment, we talked a lot about the social media side of, generating leads and growing your business. So this segment, I want to kind of put all of these little pieces together. So we're going to go through and look at our profile and see what that looks like today. We're going to make sure we have a nice professional picture and we're not drunk at the rodeo and looking crazy unless that's the kind of audience you're after. And then we're going to go ahead and take a look at the content, the last few posts, things of that nature, and we're going to go forward from there. So we're going to drive and attract traffic to our site. So we're going to look at some daily habits to get in the habit of, essentially. This week, I want you to challenge yourself to interact with one person a day on social media. I want you to comment on something that someone has said once a day, and then I want you to post an original post, and it doesn't have to be anything long and drawn out and all that, but it could be something just as simple as, this morning on my way to work, I saw a train, and wow, I haven't sat, behind a train track for 5 minutes in a long time, or whatever, just something about your day. Do it in the morning, the afternoon, get in a rhythm, see what's what, but, we want to have 3 positive interactions on social media a day, so do a post for yourself, whether it's, business-related, personal, it doesn't matter. Do a comment on something that someone else has got going on, their post, and then like or share something that someone else is doing. So your goal is 3 basically interactions a day and get in the habit of doing that. The next thing I'd like for you to become comfortable with is make a video about your best-selling product or service that you absolutely want people to learn about. Now, I know you're thinking, a video, why is that important? Well, when people see you on video, they have this very strange way of kind of connecting with you. People you've never met feel like they know you, even though they've never met you a day in their life. It automatically brings a sense of legitimacy to your product or service once they see you in person or talk to you on the phone. It's kind of, like when you meet the weatherman at McDonald's, you're like, wow, I didn't know he got a Big Mac, just like everybody else. So it really brings a level of legitimacy when they actually talk to you. So it's a very interesting dynamic. But make a video. Become comfortable with the video making side of the business. And like I said, just pick a product or service that you really enjoy and make a quick 90-second video. Hi, my name is Chris. I'm with DCCI, and we help businesses save money and become more efficient by offering X, Y, and Z. You kind of get your value statement in there. You really kind of perfect your elevator pitch once you do it enough. And then once you have something you can live with, post it. That's a challenge, especially for this week. Just post it. See what happens. I mean, you're going to get some feedback or you're not, But more than likely, the more you do it, the more people are going to say, oh, well, that person's really kind of stepping out there and doing something a little bit different. I'm not an expert on this stuff. I'm just telling you this is what I've experienced in my own life. So the things that I look forward to when dealing with the social media side of it is developing a habit. So for me personally, I usually scroll through Facebook, kind of get an idea of the temperature of the room, so to speak, pretty early in the day. And then I know pretty much what I'm working with, and I'll do a post accordingly. I do not post the same time every day. I don't even post every single day. But I do post on enough of a regularity that people kind of expect that. And if I haven't posted in a few days, I'll get messages, hey, you all right? How are things, whatever. But people are used to seeing me do those simple posts. I do it across multiple platforms. So again, I may post on Facebook and Instagram on Monday that I post on LinkedIn on Tuesday, and nothing on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook on Tuesday. But then maybe Wednesday I hit all of them for whatever reason. Just kind of depends on what my schedule's allowing me to do. But that is something I want you to make a challenge to yourself and say, hey, I would like to be able to accomplish a social media post, an interaction with someone else, and a comment on someone's thing for the next 5 days. Well, if you do these 3 interactions I'm talking about, you've gotten 15 opportunities for exposure when you're on social media. So I will come clean about this podcast to a degree. Something I've been wanting to do, and I really was excited about it. I had all the excuses in the world. I got to get a new microphone. I got to find the perfect software, just things like that. So I'll tell you why, and if she's listening, I would love for her to hear this because it's the truth. Years ago, when I worked for an independent retailer, or they call them authorized dealers in the wireless world, we sold for a big one. Can you hear me now? Good kind of deal. And we had this awesome trainer, and she actually did my interview the first round, and then I got the job, and I was able to work with her, and she was like really awesome to work with, and she was really, customer centric, but in the training side of it. Like, she was really good for like the employees and the new people, and she would get us excited about these stupid things we had to learn, but it was always, oh yeah, we're getting, these group family plans that have the shared data now, and this is going to be wonderful. And she was always so positive, and her energy was it was amazing. And so when I left that company, that was one of the things I kind of missed was, the training at the other company I went to it was all right, but, I didn't get to see her, smiling, sunshining face anymore. And unfortunately, that is important in the training world. So her name is Heather Balseric, and she was awesome. I thought she was absolutely the best. So a few weeks ago, she was celebrating on a social media post that she had done a podcast for 100 days in a row. That was her goal, and she had done it. I was so proud of her. I was so excited. I even shared it on my LinkedIn because I just thought it was really cool that, she set a goal. And, we're all kind of in the goal-setting business when you're in sales, regardless if you're selling or training or coaching or whatever the case may be. And if you work for yourself, you really have to be in the goal-setting business. So she hit 100. I'm like, that's really cool. That I remember going home that afternoon and telling my wife, I was like, you remember Heather I used to work with? Yeah. She set a goal, and, she did 100 podcasts, and, and it wasn't really well, if she can do it, I can do it kind of a thing, but it really sparked that interest in my mind. And so I guess it was about a week later, I posted my first podcast. So, Heather, if you're listening, thank you for encouraging me, even though I didn't realize you were encouraging me, and I know you had no idea that you were encouraging me, but so you never know in the social media world or in your day-to-day life who you're inspiring. And, Heather just put it out there, she's like, she has various topics that she discusses. It's a phenomenal podcast. So definitely somebody I'd, check out, especially if you're in the business coaching world. She's got some really cool things for, life and business and, getting your life together. I probably need a life coach full time. I probably need a handler. I don't know, but check out her podcast. Her name is Heather Balseric. You can find her on LinkedIn, and her podcasts are phenomenal. So check it out, and we'll go from there. So in a nutshell, sit down when you have a few minutes and make time. Get started for the love of God. and do your homework. And your homework this week is to check out the Facebook, check out the LinkedIn. If you're not comfortable, on your personal platform, your Facebook, your Instagram, whatever, start with LinkedIn. If you just have not had a good experience with LinkedIn, or you're just like, oh man, it's a dumpster fire. Well, you know what? Total it, shove it down the hill there and start over with a new one, get a new email address, whatever. I do recommend using an email address that is separate from your personal social media on the LinkedIn side. That is yours. It doesn't belong to a specific company. But the point is, if you don't want people to get back to the stuff that you have on Instagram or, Twitter or whatever, use a different email address. So, but yeah, it's the homework. Try it out. And, let me know how it goes, how it works for you. So good luck. Well, it's that time again. Time to wrap up the podcast and hope that you learned something new. And maybe I gave you some ideas on a few things that you may not have thought about, or maybe you can revisit some ideas you've had in the past. I also want to say I've had some phenomenal response to the first 3 episodes, and I've gotten some amazing support. I really, really want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for the support. And the best way to keep this thing moving forward is to give me some feedback. Definitely leave a review. If you felt like you got 5 stars worth, certainly leave that. And reach out to me if you have any questions or if you need anything. Anything I can do to help you, I'm always here. So thanks again so much, and make it a great day.